Well, we'll go ahead and get started, and he'll join us. I'd like to call to order the meeting
I'm
of the
on.
Mayor and Board of Aldermen for Tuesday, December the 6th. I've got a few changes to the agenda, actually only two, I think. A candlelight vigil celebrating or in honor of, or,
I don't have that information. It's just candlelight vigil in front of City Hall. They expect 30 to 40 people. They'll be on the sidewalk in front, and that's it.
okay?
They have a couple singers and a speaker, and that's it.
Okay, well, make the motion, we approve the permit. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Request permission to apply for a Mississippi Office of Highway Safety Impaired Driving Enforcement Training Grant for FY 23-24 in the amount of $161,932.16.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in
Apply,
favor?
sorry, motion to apply.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Request permission to apply for a Mississippi Office of Highway Safety 405D Alcohol and Drug Impaired Driving Grant for FY 23-24 in the amount of $698,786.52.
So moved.
Second.
All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Request permission to apply for a Mississippi Office of Highway Safety Police Traffic Services Grant for FY 23-24 in the amount of $21,957.76.
Motion made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Request permission to sign an agreement with Block Group, Inc. for the purchase of 5 LPR cameras in the amount of $14,250.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, DC. 2021-2022 Annual Parking Report. Come on up, Matt Davis.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having the time just to come up and kind of show you our status from last year. I don't want to kind of bore you with the details, but page 2 kind of highlights everything that we did for the year. On the plus side, we did really well, kind of getting out of the COVID funk. And so a lot of our trends were up on pretty much everything important. We're doing really well with holding on to our budget. Really, the only change we saw was the negative impact of our cash. We're seeing less cash, more mobile, so that kind of flip-flopped there. But we've seen gains in pretty much every category that we had. It was probably one of the first years in parking meter collections that we had over $1 million. Just think about that. And the meters and the kiosks through the mobile, $1 million.
That's amazing.
And a lot of places our size, we're only 300 meters, 12 kiosks, and we do monthly parking permit. There's not many places that do that. So, but I just want to include that in our yearly report. If you have any questions, any thoughts, I'm here to answer anything you've got.
What is our annual payment on the garage?
I know it's a little over $1 million now since we did the refi on part of it, but we're covering it. That's the good news.
Yeah, I knew we were
Covering it
covering
plus
it. I
some.
wasn't sure how much, so, good job.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right,
Mayor, can I ask Matt one quick question?
Yeah, sure.
I just had a quick question out of curiosity, Matt. How much of that $1 million you think was in quarters that I see you guys bringing around?
John, I don't want to shame you on that question. You probably provide more than anybody else on the quarters.
I'm just curious how much it was. Okay, no, don't worry.
All right, Kate, you can come up. Request permission to accept a $20,000 matching grant from the Mississippi Hills Heritage Alliance for repairs to Cedar Oaks.
Motion made.
Well, I want to know where that is in the budget before it's matching, it's not.
Yeah, we were
Free money.
awarded this grant prior to the budget hearings that we did earlier this year, so it was approved as a part of our budget.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor? Any opposed? Request permission to apply for a certified local government grant from the Mississippi Department of Archives and History in the amount of $15,000 with a 50% match, so $7,500 from the city.
Right, so we're hoping to get a grant to hire a consultant to update the Oxford Design Guidelines. They haven't been amended at all since they were adopted in 2011. There are just some areas that could use updating based on how we use the guidelines, and also a lot of changes have come about in construction materials since they were adopted. And we also like them to be a little bit more visual. So this is not a final amount. We're simply asking for approval to apply for the grant. We did speak with a consultant and with MDAH about the amount, so we feel like it could be around there, but we'll come back. If we are awarded the grant, I'll be back in front of you guys asking
For approval to
approve
accept.
the final amount of the contract.
Thank you. We appreciate you looking for funds to do
I'm
that.
trying.
Well, I know, and I appreciate it very much.
Move we approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you,
Aye.
Kate. Robert Baxter, who makes the best chocolate pie in America with the best crust, and he gave me the recipe, and I will have you know he has lied to me. Okay, request permission, but that's okay, but don't anybody ask for him a raise, because I'm not over it yet. Request permission to approve a final plat amendment for case 2907, John Albritton, for the Grove at Grand Oaks Phase 5, for property located at 1008 Morris Drive, being further identified as PPIN 38004 and 38221.
Okay, so the request is for an amendment to lot 75 and 76 of the Grove at Grand Oaks Phase 5. The applicant is requesting to amend the plat to transfer a little under a tenth of an acre of lot 76 to lot 75, and the resulting properties will meet all the minimums for size requirements and underlying zoning, and the setbacks will be governed by the standards set forth in the PUD. At the November Planning Commission, the commission recommended approval of the request, and staff recommends approval of this request with the two conditions in the memo. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Request permission for the city clerk to initiate the annual disbursement from the Municipal Reserve and Trust Fund for FY 2023.
Yes, it's that time of year again. We just got out of the Reserve and Trust Committee meeting, and our annual disbursement is $1,058,995. And then our expenses reimbursement is $12,465. So tomorrow, I'll get in touch with Don, and he and I will coordinate that to get that disbursement made to us.
Great.
Perfect. So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Aye.
All right, Brianna, discuss repairs to the pavilion at Stone Park.
Hi. About 2 months ago, we hired an engineer to look at the Stone Park Pavilion to see what repairs could be made as a temporary measure, just to address a tilt that has occurred in the building over time. And so we've gotten quotes on those repairs based on his design. It is $7,700 to make those repairs. And so I'm here tonight to request direction from the board regarding either making those repairs so that pavilion could be used until the time that we are ready to move forward with a different plan for that area. We do feel like it'll be at least a solid year of use, if not more, but at least 1 year of use. And Seth provided some numbers about users that rent the facility. So there were 9 users in 2021, and there were 9 users that rented the facility just from January to July. So the users were up in last year, I think reflecting people are trying to be outside more, and that's just the people who are renting the facility, not the schools that use it, not the people who are just there playing at the park and want to go sit down somewhere. So I'm just requesting direction. If the board does not want to make those repairs, I do request permission to proceed with getting quotes to move forward on demolition, because I do believe that if we're not going to repair it so that it could be used until a time we have a different plan, that we should go ahead and remove it.
Make a motion to repair the pavilion.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you.
Aye.
I will now ask the board to consider an executive session.
Move we consider executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Down there.